Hey guys, what's going on? This is another video. It's now April. I started doing these videos in 2026 and I wanted to shoot them because I wanted to show you a little bit more behind the scenes, what I'm up to, what my day-to-day life is like. And I also wanted to shoot them for my son, Victor. He's my first son and I wanted to hopefully have him and have the ability for him to look back in the future and see what we're up to and kind of see what our lives were like in his early years. Because right now he's just he's a bit of a spud and he doesn't know what's going on really, and he's kind of just off with the fairies. So I hope that one day he looks back and he can watch some of these videos and he can see what his father and what his mum were up to. And yeah, so it's April now, 2026. We've had a pretty exciting year. We've been pretty hardcore on the property portfolio side of things. Our businesses have been steady, and on the back of that, we've been investing into property. So we bought a property almost 5 years ago in Brisbane, and it did really well. There was a big boom in Brisbane. There's still booming right now, and from the back of that, we're actually able to purchase other properties. So by using the equity, we've actually been able to purchase our second and third property, which has been super exciting. It's something that I've been wanting to get into for a while. In the last year, I've taken property way more seriously. And from that, I've been trying to build this portfolio. So at the end of this week, I'm going down to Coffs Harbour. We bought a 2-bedroom unit down there, signed the contracts just over a month ago, and it all went through. And I'm doing a small renovation, and that will be our 4th property. So on the property side of things, it's been really exciting. But on the back of that, we've been continuing to grow our Amazon's brand. So it's crazy to think that almost 4 years ago, I actually quit plumbing. So I'd been a plumber on and off for, I did plumbing for almost 10 years. There was some time in between where I was doing some travel, where I was living overseas, and I gave up the tools for a bit and I was trying new things. And that's what kind of inspired me to get into Amazon. I could see other people making money outside of being on the tools. So yeah, almost 4 years since I went in and handed my resignation in. A very, very big moment in my life, a very big turning point. It gave me the ability to go all in on Amazon, put the time in, because I was only working sort of like 1 to 2 days a week on Amazon. And then I was able to really commit to it and build my knowledge and skill set. There's been so much I've learned from becoming an Amazon seller and having my own business. I guess I was always a person that was, I wanted to do better, whether it was plumbing, whatever job I did, I always wanted to exceed in it. I wanted to be the best employee. I wanted to be the best at my job. I wanted to, show my work off in the best possible way. So, starting e-commerce and getting into Amazon, there was so much to learn, and I have put a lot of time into growing my knowledge and becoming the best seller. And I think it's very important, anyone watching this, anyone who wants to get into any business, that you do actually do the education side of things. You need to do the learning, and then you need to put that into practice. And if you do one or the other, if you just go and do the work, but you don't know what you're doing, or if you just do the learning but never commit, you're kind of stuck in like no man's land. You need to do both. So even leading into quitting my job, I was always listening to podcasts. I was listening to people that were already doing it. I was listening and trying to upskill myself. And then when I did go all in, for me, I'm a numbers guy. I do a lot of the back-end systems in our business, which sounds a bit boring, but if you're a competitive person, there is a competitive edge to running ads and running numbers. You're like always trying to make more money. So that's a real sort of competitive thing that drives me and has driven me to be good at this side of the business. So yeah, so I used to have to learn a lot about advertising, Amazon PPC, and there's lots of strategies and you've got to work out which works for you. And I think that's one of the funnest sides and one of the funnest parts about Amazon. I'm less of a creative person. I do like being involved in the creative production, but I really like to see the numbers and break it down into that sort of nitty gritty. I probably should have been an accountant. In hindsight, probably should have gotten into accounting, but that's a bit boring. Building brands is way more fun. So yeah, so 4 years out of the job now, that's, I look back when I was 10 years ago, if I told myself that 10 years ago when I was, still plumbing in Adelaide, I probably wouldn't think that I would be where I am today. I didn't have that desire 10 years ago to work for myself, especially work for my own e-commerce brand. And now obviously with the Conquer AMZ, which is coming up 4 years, which is our educational service, not only have grown my knowledge as an e-commerce seller and an Amazon seller and a business owner and all the different parts of being a business owner, I've now been able to educate people for almost 4 years as well and teach. So kind of funny because when I finished high school, I wanted to be a PE teacher, and I had the decision to make between going to university as a PE teacher, PE and maths, or quitting my, or going or going to TAFE and becoming a plumber. And I chose the trade route because I no longer wanted to be in the classroom and educate, and I never really enjoyed being in the classroom, so I didn't want to be that PE teacher and go forward. So I chose the trade route, and I chose to work with my hands. And now, you know, look, 10 years or 12 years later after leaving school, full circle, I'm actually educating people how to be Amazon sellers. So I learned this huge skill set in becoming an e-commerce brand owner, and now I'm actually educating and doing the sort of thing that I originally wanted to do when I was finishing high school. So it's kind of funny how the world works, and funny how you end up, you know, where you end up and how your life can change so much. So I guess one of the biggest learnings from just discussing this now is you never know what you're gonna be 5, 10 years from now. You can plan, and that's a great idea, but things can change, lives can change, curveballs can come at you. I think a quote that I once heard was that, you know, every day we are given these sort of opportunities, these portals, and you can either choose to jump into those portals, and that could take you to like a different dimension, I guess you could call it, or a different possibility, or you can choose to, you know, navigate around those portals and you continue on with your life in that sort of straight line. So your life can go in so many different trajectories, like a tree, branching here, there, anywhere. And I think you have to take your opportunities, because if you don't take them, you don't know where you can end up. And you can quickly change your life's trajectory by taking opportunities, learning new skills, and especially taking risks. So yeah, right now, life's pretty crazy. My son is now 4 months old. He has his 4-month birthday. Happy birthday 0.4, I think we were calling it, on Thursday, one day from now. It's been an amazing experience being a father. Business has been going really well, both sides. Educational service, we have the brand up for sale right now. We're hoping to sell that brand as well and then move on to the next brand. And then yeah, the property side of things. And on the back of that, I always try to chew off too much. I'm also still starting to become a mortgage broker, to do a little bit of a side hustle, because heavily invested in property now. So I want to learn the side of, you know, brokering loans and how we can maximize our money. So non-stop, always non-stop in this household, but it's good. Happy days. And I think in the next video, we might have some future travel plans, because we're already starting to get that wheel spinning. But that's it for today's video. It's April, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys. Peace.